Have you ever noticed how often we start the day like zombies, dragging ourselves to the coffee, half awake, wondering why the alarm goes off so early? But you know what? The way you choose to begin your day can make the difference between merely surviving and truly living. Here's a secret: motivation doesn't fall from the sky. You build it, don't worry. It's not magic, nor is it about waking up with a fake cereal ad smile. Have you ever heard of Stoic philosophy? The Stoics taught us to take control of our actions, not to wait for life to motivate us. So the next time your alarm rings, instead of hating it, see it as the start of your own challenge. Plan, move, and focus on what you can control. Trust me, you'll be amazed at the power you have to start each day on the right foot. In today's video, I'll share 10 foolproof ways to begin your day motivated, so don't miss the last one. It'll leave you speechless. But before we dive in, pay attention to this story that will help you better understand the wisdom in this material. Once upon a time, in a quiet meadow, there was a young man named Lucas who dreamed of becoming a great runner. Every day at dawn, he trained on the paths surrounding his village, dreaming of one day winning a big race. However, one day, during his training, he tripped over a stone, hidden in the path, and seriously injured his leg. The doctors told him he'd need time to recover and might never run like before. Lucas felt devastated. His passion for running seemed to fade, and adversities hit him hard. The days grew long, and his motivation to train seemed to vanish along with his dream. Yet, one day, while watching the sunrise over the mountains from his window, Lucas recalled something his grandfather had told him. You won't always have a clear path, but you can always take one more step, even if it's small. Inspired by those words, Lucas decided to shift his focus. He started walking first, then jogging slowly, but steadily. There were days when his leg hurt so much he wanted to give up, but every morning he reminded himself just one more step, day after day. Whether it was sunny or raining, Lucas got up to train, even if it was just a slow step. Each small advance filled him with satisfaction, and over time, his body grew stronger. Finally, after months of persistent effort, Lucas entered a local race. He didn't win, but he crossed the finish line. With a smile on his face, knowing the true victory wasn't in the result, but in overcoming each day's small battles with his motivation and perseverance. The moral of this story is that though adversities and discouragement may appear in our path, the key lies in maintaining consistency. Every small step we take, no matter how slow, brings us closer to our dreams. Motivation doesn't always come from grand victories, but from knowing we're giving our best every day. Before we start with the first lesson, if you find these videos helpful, I encourage you to subscribe and activate notifications to stay updated on the latest content. Let's begin. Organize your day well. Have you ever woken up with the feeling that the day is waiting for you, with a list of tasks, like a strict school teacher piling on homework? If the answer is yes, welcome to the club, here between coffee and the distractions of modern life. The key to navigating daily chaos might be hidden in a simple practice. Writing down what you need to do each day might sound boring, but what if I told you it has roots in Stoic philosophy? Imagine you're on a ship in the middle of a stormy ocean. Without a map or a clear course, you'd likely end up drifting aimlessly. The same happens when you don't plan your day, and who wants to be that modern castaway floating without direction. This is where the act of writing down your tasks comes in. By having a plan, you not only boost your productivity, but also reduce that anxiety that creeps into your mind. When you realize there are 1,000 things to do and only a couple of hours on the clock. But don't worry, I'm not here to give you the social media "you can do it" pep talk. Let's talk about something more realistic. Starting the day motivated isn't just about good intentions. It's about setting a map. When you make a to-do list, you not only allocate your time more effectively, but also empower yourself to choose what to focus on. You become the captain of your ship, navigating through the waves of daily routine. So how can you implement this practice in your daily life every morning? Take a few minutes to write down what you need to do. It doesn't have to be a philosophical treatise. Just jot down your tasks, from the simplest to the most complex. You'll see how, by putting it on paper, those chaotic ideas in your head start to take shape. Use Stoic philosophy to prioritize your tasks. Ask yourself, what's most important here? This will help you focus on what truly matters and set aside unnecessary distractions. Remember, not everything that glitters is gold. Also, set a specific time for each task. While it's true that life sometimes throws curveballs, having a time frame will help you stay on track. That way, instead of becoming a professional procrastinator, you'll see how you progress, one grain of sand at a time. Don't forget to review before bed. Look at what you've accomplished. This not only gives you a sense of achievement, but also helps you mentally prepare for the next day. And who doesn't want to go to bed feeling a bit more stoic and a bit less lost? Taking the time to write down your tasks isn't just a way to be more productive, it's an act of self-discipline that connects you to Stoic philosophy. Don't underestimate the power of a well-planned day. The end of the day, it's not just about how many things you did, but the quality of those actions and how they bring you closer to your goals. So, the next time you face an endless task list, remember, you're the captain of your ship, and you have the power to decide where to sail. As Epictetus wisely said, a day without a plan is a day lost in the fog of procrastination. Write down your dreams. Have you ever gotten out of bed with the same energy as a zombie on its worst day? Don't worry, you're not alone. The morning routine can become a formidable enemy, especially when your dreams feel as distant as a trip to Mars. But what if I told you there's a way to start the day motivated, even if the alarm sounds like a fire siren? Let's dive in with a stoic, reflective mindset. Because sometimes what you need is a bit of philosophy to tackle the day every morning, instead of dragging yourself to the coffee as if it were the last vestige of life. On a desolate planet, decide to dedicate a few minutes to writing down your dreams, not those absurd dreams that make you wonder what you ate last night, but those aspirations that truly inspire you, the ones that make you leap out of bed. Stoic philosophy teaches us that control and reflection are key in our lives. So why not apply this to your daily routine? Taking a few minutes to put your desires and goals on paper might seem trivial, but think of it as planting seeds in a garden. If you don't take the time to sow those seeds, they'll never bloom. By writing down your dreams in the morning, you give them a chance to grow and become something tangible. Maybe you dream of switching careers, starting a creative project, or simply being happier. Whatever the dream, writing it down is the first step toward making it real. Now, how can you do this? One strategy is to create a morning ritual. Get up. Do your thing. Whatever wakes you up, sit down with a notebook and write down 3 dreams you want to achieve. They don't have to be grand goals. They can be as simple as reading a book this week or exercising 3 times. The key is that these dreams resonate with you and motivate you then. Reflect on how you can take a step toward them. It might require a shift in perspective. Stoic philosophy would invite you to see obstacles as opportunities to grow. Imagine that every time you write down a dream, it's like signing a contract with yourself. You commit to pursuing it, not letting it float away like a New Year's resolution. And yes, there will be days when you wake up wanting to throw in the towel. Those are precisely the moments when your contract comes to life, challenging you to keep going. So, dear friend, start today. Make your dreams a morning exercise like brushing your teeth, and watch how, little by little, those dreams begin to take shape, because in the grand theater of life, you are the protagonist, and your dreams are your script. Let me make this crystal clear, my friend. Dreams are like stars. If you don't set a course for them, they'll remain just distant lights in the sky. Do morning exercise. Have you ever woken up feeling like the world is staring at you with that look of, "And what are you doing here?" The alarm blares, and instead of jumping out of bed like a superhero in action, you stretch like a lazy cat who's just finished a napping marathon. What if I told you that instead of rolling toward the couch, you could get up and do some exercise? It might sound like advice from one of those self-help books that make you feel guilty for not being a yoga master at 6 a.m. But hold on, there's more. Morning exercise is like the coffee of life. You might not realize how much you need it until you try it. At first, it can feel like punishment, as if someone decided your muscles deserved a spa day, and you interrupted it with an aerobic session. But what if I told you that a bit of movement can change how you feel and tackle the day? Stoic philosophy teaches us that we can't control what happens to us, but we can control how we react. So instead of letting the morning crush you, do some exercise. It can be as simple as a few minutes of stretching, a short jumping routine, or even a brief walk. The idea is to wake up those muscles that were so cozy in hibernation mode. Why? Because, trust me, you'll feel like you've taken a sip of liquid motivation. Now, you might be thinking, what if I don't have time? Well, I'm not asking you to become an Olympic athlete overnight. A few minutes are enough to wake your body, spark your mind, and boost your energy. It's like starting an engine that's been off since winter, to make this morning ritual more
appealing. Begin the day with an alarm that plays upbeat music instead of one that makes you feel like you're waking up on a battlefield. Choose tunes that invite you to get up and dance. Sometimes, all you need is that little push. It's
also crucial to make exercise part of your daily routine. You don't have to be a fitness warrior. From day one, just weave it into your life, and you'll be surprised how, over time, you'll feel odd if you don't do it. Plus, remember that exercise doesn't have to be boring. If you love dancing, dance. If you prefer yoga, do it. The point is to move and enjoy that moment, not feel like you're in a torture gym before getting out of bed. Think about how you'll feel after moving. That sense of energy and mental clarity is the reward for your efforts. Starting the day with exercise isn't just a physical act. It's a way to mentally prepare for whatever comes. So the next time your alarm rings, instead of lingering in bed, think about how a bit of movement can transform your morning. It's not about becoming a fitness guru, but embracing life with a bit of energy and good vibes. Remember, as a wise Stoic proverb says, movement is the first step toward greatness. So are you ready to stop being the lazy cat and start moving? The morning is waiting for you. Shower in. The morning, that magical moment of the day when everything seems possible, just before reality peeks in and reminds us the world is a complicated place. But what if I told you that a simple morning shower could be the key to starting the day with more energy, and why not? A bit of motivation, yes. I know it sounds as exciting as watching paint dry, but hear me out. I promise it's not that dull. A shower is like a sacred ritual. It's that moment when you leave behind the blankets and the shadows of sleep to face real life. Stoic philosophy teaches us that the first step toward a fuller life is accepting reality as it is. So, instead of getting trapped in thoughts of 5 more minutes, why not seize the warm water cascading over you as a shield that prepares you for the day? Each drop is like a tiny soldier, urging you to get up and go conquer the world, or at least conquer that to-do list. That seems longer than a novel. Now, I'm not saying a shower is the universal cure, but think about this. If you start your day feeling fresh and renewed, your perspective changes. It's like putting on an invisible cape of optimism. Haven't you noticed how after a good shower, even your reflection in the mirror looks more determined? That spark in your eyes is the energy you need to tackle the small and big challenges awaiting you. 5. Connect with your loved ones. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to have superpowers every morning while you barely manage to crawl out of bed with a coffee in one hand and your tail between your legs? It's curious how that first hour of the day can be the difference between facing the world with a smile or with a "don't talk to me" face. This is where the art of communication comes in. But don't worry, you don't need a master's in public speaking to shine. Just a bit of Stoic philosophy and a good group of friends or family to help you kickstart the day. Imagine each morning as starting an engine. If you don't give it the necessary push, it simply won't fire up. Making a couple of calls or sending a few texts before heading to work is like putting gas in that engine. It helps warm up the machine and prepares you for what's coming. Maybe it's your brother, who always has a joke ready, or your best friend, who reminds you life isn't as serious as it seems. Laughter, even if fleeting, is an excellent antidote to morning stress and heaviness. So why not make this small practice a daily habit? Now, you might be thinking, but what does this have to do with Stoic philosophy? Well, this is where it gets interesting. The Stoics believed in controlling our reactions and emotions. Instead of letting the morning overwhelm you with its 1,000 worries, why not take a moment to breathe and reflect on what you can truly control? Connecting with your loved ones can be one of the most effective ways to stay calm amid chaos. With their support, you'll face the day's challenges with a renewed attitude. A simple technique could be setting up a morning group chat. Imagine waking up to find messages of support, jokes, or even a funny anecdote. Suddenly, your day no longer feels like an emotional roller coaster, but like a walk in the park. But beware, this isn't a license to fall into the trap of constant complaining. We don't want our conversations to turn into a vicious cycle of negativity. It's important to balance fun with a good dose of positivity. What if you start the day by sharing your goals that way? You not only motivate yourself, but also inspire others to do the same. Remember, communication isn't just about talking, but also listening. If you dedicate a few minutes to hearing your friends or family, you might discover new perspectives that help you see the day differently. Maybe a piece of advice you hadn't considered, or a reflection that makes you smile. The idea is to surround yourself with people who lift you up and remind you that, at the end of the day, life is a journey full of surprises. The way you start your morning can set the tone for the rest of the day. By connecting with your loved ones before heading out into the world, you not only prepare yourself mentally, but also create a positive atmosphere around you. So why not make it part of your daily routine? Remember, as Nelson Mandela said, communication is the bridge between confusion and clarity. 6. Take care of your appearance. Have you ever wondered why some days seem to have a special aura, like you're ready to conquer the world, while others leave you feeling stuck in a loop of laziness and demotivation? Maybe the answer isn't in the coffee, though let's be honest, it helps, or in the latest motivational trend. The key might lie in how you see yourself each morning. So, yes, it's time to talk about you and how you present yourself to the world. Don't worry, I'm not asking you to become a Stoic philosopher overnight, but a bit of self-care and reflection never hurt anyone. Let's be real. When you look in the mirror in the morning, what you see can influence how you feel for the rest of the day. If the image staring back is a zombie who hasn't slept in days, chances are your enthusiasm for the day will melt faster than an ice cube on a hot day. So, what if you decide to wake up a bit earlier, to give yourself the time you deserve? No, I'm not talking about doing yoga on a cliff or meditating with incense. I'm talking about you getting ready, putting a bit of effort into how you look. It can be as simple as wearing a shirt that makes you feel good, or brushing your hair. Even just a little. Remember, the world doesn't owe you anything, but you do owe something to yourself. At the end of the day, personal care isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. You'd be surprised how a small change in your morning routine can make a difference. If you feel good about yourself, you'll be more motivated and ready to tackle the day's challenges. It's like a well-maintained car. If you keep it in good condition, it'll run better and take you farther. Now, if you still feel like you're dragging through life, maybe it's time to implement some strategies to boost your motivation. Think of this. Every day is a blank canvas if you decide to start it with the mindset that it's an opportunity, not just a challenge. Your perspective will shift. Setting small goals can be a great first step. Don't try to run a marathon on day one. Start with something simple, like making your bed, preparing a healthy breakfast, or reading a chapter of a book. Every small achievement counts and adds to your overall motivation. Plus, finding a morning ritual you enjoy can be key. It could be listening to your favorite music while getting dressed, or making your coffee like it's an art form. Those moments of pleasure can be your fuel for the day. Another helpful technique is to visualize your day before leaving the house. Close your eyes and picture how you want it to unfold. Every step, every conversation, every challenge, it's like rehearsing before a performance. If you know what you want, it's easier to achieve it. Seeing yourself in the best possible light isn't just an act of vanity, it's an investment in your well-being and motivation. And who says you can't be a bit stoic about it? After all, taking care of yourself and looking good is the first step to facing any adversity. So the next time you look in the mirror, remember, you have the power to transform your day. And if that means waking up a bit earlier, so be it, as Marcus Aurelius made clear in his Meditations. Taking care of yourself isn't an act of selfishness, but of survival. Treat yourself. Have you ever woken up feeling like the day is challenging you, as if the universe is whispering, "Come on, do something productive"? But please, without too much pressure. Life often feels like a wrestling match, where the final boss is that task you've been avoiding for weeks. But what if I told you that a small treat could be the key to defeating that boss? Let's explore how treating yourself after achieving something difficult can be the push you need. To start each day with motivation, imagine you're a stoic warrior, ready to face daily adversities. Every task completed is a battle won, however. We all know war is exhausting, and sometimes we need to reward those efforts. This is where the strategy of treating yourself comes in. It's a bit like giving a kid a piece of chocolate after finishing their homework. What you're doing is incentivizing good behavior. So why not do the same for yourself? Start by setting a small goal. It could be as simple as getting up at the time you planned, or finishing that report you've been putting off. Once you achieve that small victory, treat yourself. Maybe it's a nice cup of coffee, watching an episode of that show you love, or even a walk in the park. The idea is that by celebrating these achievements, you're reinforcing positive behavior. It's not just about getting things done, but enjoying the journey while you do it. Stoic philosophy teaches us to accept what we cannot change, but also to recognize and celebrate our own victories by treating yourself. You're not only celebrating your effort, but also cultivating a mindset of gratitude and joy. You realize life isn't just an endless cycle of tasks, but a series of moments you can enjoy if you allow yourself now. You might think, that sounds great, but what if I don't achieve my goals? Well, my friend, this is where the magic of self-compassion comes in. We all have bad days. Sometimes the bed seems more appealing than anything outside it, and that's okay. Life isn't a marathon, it's more like a bike ride. There'll be times when you need to pedal hard, and others when you can just enjoy the scenery. The key is to be kind to yourself and remember that progress is a path full of ups and downs. So, what if you prepare for tomorrow with a small list of things you'd like to achieve? Make sure to include at least one of those small battles that's been tough to win, and when you succeed, treat yourself, make it a ritual, make it special, and if one day you don't make it, don't punish yourself for trying. Because at the end of the day, it's not the outcome that matters, but the effort you put into the path. So the next time you face a mountain of tasks, remember, treating yourself isn't a sign of weakness, but a smart strategy to stay motivated. Life is too short not to enjoy the small triumphs, and a bit of indulgence might be just what you need to start the day with renewed energy. Remember, every victory counts, and you deserve to celebrate each one. Etch this in your heart, my friend, in life. Sometimes you win and sometimes you learn. There's always room to celebrate. Reward yourself daily. Every day is a fresh blank page, waiting to be filled with adventures, tasks, and why not, a bit of chaos. But sometimes that page turns into a boring blank document. That seems to yell, do something exciting. This is where planning comes in. It's not about being a programmed robot, but about adding a spark to your daily routine. What if, at the end of each day, you had something to look forward to? No. I'm not talking about that show that keeps you glued to the couch like a magnet. I'm talking about activities you truly enjoy. Let's dive in and discover how Stoic philosophy can be your ally in the quest for a more satisfying life. Often, we collapse into bed each night, feeling like the day was just a formality. Work, household chores, and social commitments drag us into a whirlwind that leaves us exhausted. But what if I told you there's a way to turn this around? The key lies in planning activities you genuinely enjoy. Imagine ending each day with a small reward, like a kid getting a cookie after finishing their homework. That cookie could be anything that makes you smile: a walk in the park, reading a chapter of a gripping book, or even trying a new recipe. By incorporating these activities into your routine, you not only transform how you perceive the day, but also create a reward system that keeps you motivated. Think of it as the winning goal in a game. The effort during the day makes sense when you know there's something at the end that fills you with joy. So instead of waiting for life to surprise you with happy moments, why not be the architect of your own pleasure? Plus, the Stoics teach us to live in the present and value what truly matters to us. If you plan your day with mindful focus, you'll zero in on activities that nourish you instead of being swept away by the current of routine. Ask yourself, what can I do today that will make me feel fulfilled? Don't limit yourself to fulfilling obligations. Seek what makes you vibrate. The key is to make your day more than just passing through. Now, you might say, but I don't have time. This is where the magic of minimalism comes in. It's not about doing more, but doing what truly matters. So, instead of filling your schedule with commitments you don't enjoy, carefully select those activities that give you energy and joy. Remember, time is a limited resource, and how you use it defines the quality of your life. At the end of the day, life isn't just a series of tasks to complete. It's a journey full of opportunities to enjoy and grow. Planning activities you love will allow you not only to survive the daily routine, but to thrive in it. So the next time you look at your planner, ask yourself, what reward awaits me at the end of the day? And if you don't have an answer yet, start building one yourself. As Seneca said, happiness isn't found at the finish line, but in the journey we choose to create. 9. Break the routine. Have you ever felt like your days are so similar you could mistake them for a rerun of your favorite show? Wake up, go to work, eat something you barely remember enjoying, and come home to do the exact same thing the next day. Sounds fun, right? Sure. If your idea of fun is a marathon of monotony, the good news is there's a way to break this routine, and who knows, you might just find yourself along the way. Let's talk about how trying to do one different thing each day, no matter how small, can be the nudge you need to start each morning with motivation. Let's return to the blank page analogy. Every day of your life is a blank page, waiting for you to fill it with experiences, if you keep writing the same story. How do you expect your personal novel to be a bestseller? Stoic philosophy teaches us to adapt to circumstances and find satisfaction in what we do. But what happens when doing becomes not doing? This is where the key comes in. Introduce small changes to your daily routine. For example, if you always take the same route to work, what would happen if one day you chose a different path? You might discover a hidden coffee shop that serves the best brew of your life, or a park that makes you want to linger and enjoy the fresh air. You don't need to climb a mountain or go skydiving to feel you've lived something different. Sometimes, the key lies in small choices, like trying a new ice cream flavor or reading a book outside your usual genre. It's not about making grand changes overnight, but exploring. The simple act of choosing a different route can be as refreshing as a dip in a pool on a hot day. It forces you to be present, to observe your surroundings, and to interact with the world in a way you'd probably forgotten. Every small action adds up, and the sum of these choices can lead to a significant shift in your perspective. Now, it's not all about changing direction. You can also try new activities. Maybe you've always wanted to learn an instrument, but think it's a daunting challenge. What if you just start with 5 minutes a day? At first, it sounds trivial, but those 5 minutes can turn into 10, and then into something you genuinely enjoy. This is where the concept of marginal gains comes in. Every day, a new action. Every day, a small step forward. And if you ever feel stuck, remember, we all have those days when we just don't have the energy. That's okay. Don't punish yourself. Accept that there are moments when life can feel a bit dull. The important thing is not to let those days turn into weeks, months, or worse, years. Doing something different each day, however small, can be the spark that ignites your motivation. I invite you to become the protagonist of your own story, where the cliché of routine has no place. Make each day a new adventure. Remember, if life can seem like a series of repeated episodes, you have the power to decide how to fill each one. Are you ready to take that first step, as Brian Tracy says? A day without something new is a day lost. 10. Maintain balance between personal and work life. Imagine waking up each morning, feeling like a productivity ninja, ready to conquer the world. Sounds great, right? But before you dive into that epic battle against the hours of the day, let's pause. Have you ever thought about the balance between your personal life and work? You might have heard the phrase, work hard, dream big. But what if the real key is finding a balance that lets you enjoy both worlds? Stoic philosophy offers an interesting perspective on how to approach this, and maybe we should. Take note. Life is a bit like a juggler in a circus. Sometimes you have to toss several balls in the air and hope they don't crash. Your work is one of those balls, and your personal life is another. If you focus too much on one, you risk dropping the other. So how can you keep the balance without losing your mind? First, start your day with a small personal ceremony. No, I'm not talking about sacrificing a rooster at 6 a.m., but about setting a morning ritual. This could be as simple as taking a moment to breathe, listing 3 things you're grateful for, or even savoring your coffee like it's the elixir of life. A good coffee can be more inspiring than any motivational talk from a coach who looks like they stepped out of a toothpaste at Next. Set clear boundaries between work and personal life. Have you noticed how your phone seems glued to your hand, even at home? Break free from that modern tether and carve out time to disconnect. You could put a sign on your door that says, "Do not disturb," even if it's just to keep your roommates from bugging you with silly questions about dinner. After all, if you don't protect your personal time, who will now? What about those days when work feels more demanding than a diva in her dressing room? This is where Stoic philosophy comes in. This approach teaches us to accept what we cannot control. Instead of getting frustrated because you couldn't check everything off your list, focus on what you did achieve. If a project didn't go as planned, think of it as a life experiment. Every mistake is a lesson in disguise, so laugh it off. One day, you'll look back and see those failures as funny stories to tell at dinner. Plus, practice self-discipline. It's not about hammering your mind into exhaustion, but about setting a routine that allows you to maintain that balance. Reserve time for your hobbies, even if it's just an hour a week. Reading, painting, or even watching your favorite show can be the escape valve you need to keep your sanity. Remember, life isn't just work, it's a series of moments that, at the end of the day, become your personal story. So, dear friend, if you wake up each morning with the mission to be a productivity warrior, don't forget that the real battle is finding a balance that lets you enjoy each day. Life is short, and we don't want it to become a monotonous chase after deadlines and meetings. Take the time to laugh, disconnect, and above all, live as my late father, may he rest in peace, used to say, life isn't just about working, it's about truly living in every breath and every laugh. If you've made it this far, write in the comments. Life is a matter of attitude. I'm excited to hear about your successes. I invite you to subscribe, activate notifications, and comment, so YouTube knows these videos are helpful to people like you. This motivates us to keep creating similar content in the future. I suggest checking out the 2 latest videos recommended below. I sincerely thank you for your time and support. See you in our next adventure.